with Garrett Hodge. Garrett, go ahead.
Took me just a second to get settled there. Thanks, Matt. Ben, I remember when you last played Mizzou in Columbia, after that game, you said that you were really impressed with their group they had coming back and that they were going to be an NCAA tournament team. Obviously, they've started out tremendously, only losing a game to Tennessee. What was it about that group specifically that really impressed you and thought they'd be where they're at now?
Well, you could just see they really played well the last half of the conference season a year ago. They had some very big wins. I remember they crushed a good Auburn team by 20 in Columbia, and they had a number of really good wins during the last half of the conference season a year ago, and you could just see that team growing. Especially Pinson had moved into the starting lineup. I forget what happened, what caused that, but when he got to be in the starting rotation with Drew Smith in the backcourt, those two guards are really a great pair of guards. One's a fifth-year senior, one's a junior, and really, really good players. But I like their, number one, their perimeter. You look at Mark Smith, and you look at, number 4, his name escapes me right now, really good player, comes off the bench.
Pinson?
Yeah, who?
Xavier Pinson?
No, that's a starter. He's number 1. Number 4, he's a good player. But in any event, I really like their perimeter, their depth. Watson is their 5th perimeter guy, and he can really shoot it. Buggs they picked up this year, and he's a good point guard that came from Hawaii, gives them another ball handler and a guy that makes good decisions. So they have a lot of depth in the backcourt. And then Tillman, had his best game of his career probably in their last outing yesterday or Saturday against Arkansas, where he had 25 points, really played great, and he's been playing very well for them. I think Brown, Kobe is doing a really nice job, and then they bring in Smith for him. So they've got a lot of depth and experience. They're older. I mean, it's always an advantage to be older. When you look at their team, they're an older group of guys, and, that helps.
Javon Pickett was his name. I mixed up Pickett and Pinson. That was it. Number 4.
There you go. Pickett's good. Pickett's strong. They're playing him some at the 4 this year.
We'll go ahead and swing it along to Paul Jones. Paul, go ahead.
Coach, kind of along those lines, you don't see it much in today's game with a program returning back most of their roster. What other things have stood out to you about Missouri this year besides just being a year older?
Yeah, good question. I think they play very good defense. I think they're one of the better defensive teams in our league. They really, really do a good job. They're man-to-man. They'll ice ball screens. They'll switch some ball screens 1 through 4. They really get out and deny things. When you penetrate, everybody is collapsing, forcing you to kick it back out. They do a great job defensively. I think they're really executing well. Offensively, they push the ball hard in transition. Even on our made shots, you're going to see them push it and try to attempt to push it really hard, as did Kentucky, as did Georgia. So we've got to do a good job on our transition defense with these guys as well. And, they're 10 in the net. Right now they're one of the top 10 teams in the country based on the NC2A net rankings.
Paul, if you had a follow-up, go right ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I was also wanted to ask you about Tolu Smith. Obviously, he's had a slow start to SEC play, and a lot of it I know has been about matchups. But what do you think when you watch the film on him in those last 2 games, what do you think needs to get him going and what he needs to improve on?
He just needs to slow down in the post. Tolu is playing at sometimes a pace that's just going too fast. He's just got to slow down and get settled, and that comes with experience. Players are bigger and stronger, but we watched the film yesterday, and he watched the entire game and edits with the team, so he got a lot of film work. He came in and did extra work this morning for an hour. I mean, he's got a great attitude, a great work ethic, and, he's going to keep improving and getting better. He is leading the league in rebounding as of today, all games. So, he's done some very good things for us. And, offensively, he's got to focus on his post game. Every kid wants to shoot, wants to work on shooting and facing up and shooting threes, and that's been the focus of his time that he spends outside of practice. And, you know, he's got to be focused on number one, being able to use that 6'11", 245 pounds and score on people with his back to the basket some. And so that's something we worked on today.
We'll keep it rolling with Paul.
Coach, another question. Obviously, after the game the other night, saw Iverson Molinar out there putting up shots, and he talked to us post game, as you know, and said he wanted to learn from that late game situation and making that mistake against Kentucky. What have you seen from him, if y'all have practiced since then, and just the team's demeanor coming off that tough loss?
You know, we didn't do anything live yesterday. We walked through Missouri stuff, and then we watched film after lifting. We had a lifting day yesterday. But, you know, obviously our guys were really hurting after that game. And, you know, there was somberness. But I explained to them, hey, you know, that game's over now. And the whole key to it is, from every experience, is to learn from it. And not, you know, let that carry over in the next game. I mean, that game's over. We're 1-1. And we've got another incredible opportunity tomorrow against a very good Missouri team that's, you know, really, really tough, that just had a great road win at Arkansas. That's 10 in the net. So it's a great opportunity for us to grow and learn from what we did. And he will. I mean, we have great kids, so they're going to respond. And that's, you know, I'm very confident in that.